I will go ahead and record. All right. Well, yeah, this is great. All right. Well, Jenny, aka the Witty Farmer, welcome to the Farm Traveler Podcast. How are you doing?
I'm good. Nice rainy day, so it was a good day.
Yeah, yeah, good day. I know we've gone back and forth about scheduling, and I know you're trying to plant right now, so the rain is like super bummy. But I'm glad we're finally getting ready to interview, and I'm excited to learn from you and talk about your shirts and your farming and all that good stuff.
I don't know how much you're going to learn, but I mean, I hope you're entertained. So, one or the
Well,
other.
there you go. Most likely entertained too. So for our listeners, give us a little bit of background about yourself, what you're doing, and how you wound up farming.
Ooh, a little bit of background. Okay. Let me give you the Cliff Note version.
Deal.
So I just turned 37. So in a very short amount of time, I have had like, I don't know, 5 or 6 different careers. College, graduated with BS in biology. Moved to Dallas. I was a private fitness instructor. And then the roommate that I had was absolutely terrible. So thankfully, I got out of that situation, moved to Little Rock, Arkansas, and I got a job in the lab there at the medical. Oh, it's the medical school. It was right next to it. But so I was doing clinical research. And 24-ish, somewhere in there, got published in a couple of scientific journals. And we were, oh, there's a kitty on the floor. So anyway, you hear a little scratchy and stuff. That's kitty. So we were studying the correlation between the immune system and the eye. So it was always thought that, like, say you scratch your cornea, the way it heals is different than scratching your finger.
Okay.
We proved that it's the same. It's the same immune system response. So I got to work with rats, killed rats at a little cake dish display thing. It's actually kind of sad. I really didn't like
that. Yeah, those rats always get the I don't know, the bad end of the bargain. I mean, but thanks to science, I guess.
I guess. Poor things, but whatever. So then I left there to go to Oklahoma City, where I was working at a gym there because the guy I was dating at the time went to Oklahoma City. That was really stupid on my part, but hey, whatever. You do dumb things sometimes, or often, as in my case. So went to Oklahoma City, and I also did some research there. And then all of a sudden I was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go to Los Angeles. Because at one point in my college career, I lived in Chicago. I went to the U of I, Champaign, Chicago, and Springfield. So I went to all 3 campuses. And so I modeled when I was in Chicago. And then I realized I really enjoy eating. So I wasn't really too happy with that. I am very German built. I am not meant to be skinny. And I was very skinny. And I was very unhappy because I was not eating enough. So yeah. And you have to be really, really tall. I'm 5'8", which I'm not short, but I'm not 6 feet tall. So the shorter you are, the thinner you have to be to photograph taller.
That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, it seems like to be a good model or like a successful model, you've got to be tall and skinny, and that's it.
Yeah, because whenever you're wearing the clothes, whoever is making the clothes, they want the garment to look like it does on the hanger.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that.
Yeah. So you need to be skinny, like it's just hanging there in the store. Yeah. Which my body's not meant to be. So so I thought, okay, well, I was like 25, maybe 26. And then let's try acting.
Well, shoot, okay.
I was always science. I love school. Never did acting. Oh, what the hell? So I did, and moved out there. I got in the SAG-AFTRA union after 3 months of being there, and I did not perform any sexual favors. Yeah,
that's rare in Hollywood.
Yeah. So it's also rare for people to actually work too. So I did the right thing. And I was a must join. That was Hangover 2, which you can barely even see me in there.
Really?
The other they're not called stewardess. What do you call them now on the plane?
Flight attendant?
Yeah.
Or yeah, okay.
I'll probably get anyway. So did a lot of really fun stuff out there, really enjoyed it. And then I moved to Chicago because I was working in LA and Chicago. And then I went back to LA. Then my lease was up and I was like, you know what? Kind of tired of this place. And I guess probably the best thing ever, the most consistent thing in my life is farming.
Mm.
So all of these jobs, all of these towns, cities, what have you, I always came back and I helped and I farmed. And a lot of people don't realize that, because when I would come back, all I did was come back home. I was with my parents and helping, doing something. But I was always here during planting and harvest season. Maybe not the whole exact time, but I always helped. And so what I realized when I was out in LA, I would never live there again. And I would not recommend anybody ever living there. One of the most selfish places on the planet. Oh my gosh, those people are terrible. Not really the brightest either. Regardless, I was like, you know what? Every time I go home, I'm so happy. And it's weird going through all of this stuff. I never thought I'd be farming for a living, but it hit me when I was, what am I now? 37. So 3 years ago. Yeah, like 33, 34. It's just my dad. Like, this isn't okay. I don't want him doing all the work.
Yeah.
So I decided to come back, and yeah, now I farm full time and I am incredibly happy. And it was the best decision I ever made. And cows, dad was getting ready to get rid of cows. And I was like, no, I like the cows. So now the cows are my sole responsibility.
I'm sure that's a fun time.
Yeah. So it is work. It's a lot of work. And what's awesome, I don't even have to go to the gym.
Mm. Yeah, because I mean, you're working out outside 24/7. I mean, hauling equipment, working with cows, doing whatever. So you get like that workout life. It's like CrossFit, but better.
Yeah, I get paid for doing
Yeah.
CrossFit. Like, I'm the one that's teaching CrossFit for myself, and nobody's yelling at me. I wouldn't take that very well anyway, but yeah.
So
Yeah.
why do you find farming more enjoyable than like living in LA or acting or modeling? I mean, I think I know what you're going to say, but why is it much more enjoyable for you?
There are a lot of different factors that are significantly better here. One is being close to family. The longest I've ever been gone from home is like 4 months. So I've always been close to my parents. And quality of air.
Big factor. No smog in Illinois.
Yeah, especially where we are. And I love smelling methane from my cows. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so those people can, kick rocks. And the people, the community. So in a big city, yes, you have a lot more available to you. However, there is no sense of community at all. It's kind of what can you do for me? And it's all about themselves, I guess. And I guess making themselves advance. Nobody really cares about other people and actually seeing other people succeed. Now, even people that I can't stand, I don't like seeing them fail.
Mm-hmm.
And there are plenty of those people out there, but I don't get satisfaction from seeing somebody fail. That's just not something that is, you shouldn't feel that way. And that's how a lot of people feel when you are in this big pond. You have a lot more competition. And so feelings for others kind of go out the window. And it's really unfortunate. And here, I mean, everybody helps each other.
Yeah.
And so like is now, with the clothing line and all that junk, which was not planned at all. Oh, that's exhausting. But I decided, okay, I need to help my community get more involved. And, so I'm donating to my local veterans. And it was their first veterans ball they had in February. And I was able to give them $500, which was, I couldn't believe it. And it was nice. And so now my husband and I are actually getting more involved. And yeah, so it's nice. It's easygoing. I don't like being rushed.
Yeah, I feel like the city life. I mean, I've been to LA for a week to see my friend Ben that's out there, and went to New York 2 years ago, I think. It was great,
Mhm.
but I would never want to live in those areas because there's so much going on. And I mean, like that small town life, I don't know, like it's much more enjoyable. Kind of like how you say, like everybody's rooting for you.
Yeah.
Everybody, you might not know everybody in the small town, but
Mhm.
like you said, you've got that sense of community, which is a lot better and it's a lot more beneficial.
Well, yeah, and I mean, just the amount of stimuli that you
Mhm.
have in the city. I mean, it was hard to get used to just sleeping because there is
Yeah.
so much noise and there's so much light pollution that I mean, it's hard to have your brain actually come back to calm.
Hmm.
And I've never been anxiety ridden and like, I've just never been one of those people anyway. And so I like to have calm. I like having time to myself, which is why farming is another good thing because you're fairly autonomous and you don't have to
Also
deal with
true.
the general public. Yeah. Customer service, I would be terrible at customer service. But it's just really refreshing, I guess. And whenever you're out here in nature and you hear crickets, birds, what have you,
Mm,
I don't know, you can hear the wind and then you can smell it. Like it makes you feel like a human being, like how we're supposed to be.
yeah.
We can't get delivery. So where I live, I mean, we have to make our food or go to the grocery store.
No DoorDash.
No, no. Now I will say I do kind of miss that because there are some days and when we've gone out on a weekend or something, it's like, oh, I wish I could order some food in, but no. So it also causes you to be more responsible.
Yeah, also true. I hate going through our budget and looking and seeing like DoorDash, DoorDash, DoorDash. I'm like, but it's so good because you can order like we're in Panama City, so it's not a big town, but it's not like a
That's
small
big
town.
enough.
So we still have, yeah, it's big enough. So we still have like the perks of like DoorDash and stuff, but we also can't go outside and it's completely quiet. Like you hear the ambulances, you see the light pollution, all that stuff. But my
Mhm.
parents in Bluntstown, we go there every now and then, and it's like I think 2,500 people, and it's quiet. It is literally that small town. Like we've got three stoplights, so it's definitely that small town feel, which is great.
And you reset.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So when you go back to a place like that, you are able to actually just kind of reset everything and get yourself back in, ready mode to go back to city.
Hmm.
And that's what always happened to me. And then I was like, I miss being home.
I wanna go back home. I'm done recharging. I want to go back home and enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's our town is I think it's like 1800 maybe. Maybe
Hmm.
we're up to 19. I don't know. I'm gonna give Winchester a little, but uh, yeah, think about that. We don't even have a stoplight.
Really?
Where I'm actually from is Rigston. My great grandfather, Hunter Funk, which wouldn't you like to have that last
Hunter
name?
Funk. That's an awesome last name. Yeah.
Pretty funky. So he started the John Deere dealership that is actually still here.
Oh,
Now,
cool.
my dad didn't want to run it. He actually just wanted to farm. He
Mm.
did not. See, another person that did not want to deal with the general public. Um, so it's actually still here, and that's actually where I am because my parents' house. So my parents and where I grew up was my great grandmother and grandfather's house.
Okay, that's awesome. Like a little family heirloom of a house. That's cool.
Yeah, and it's not one of the really cool fancy ones either. People are like, oh, you live in an old farmhouse. It's probably really big and pretty. No, it's just an old house.
It's not like your movie or storybook farmhouse. That's funny.
Yeah, it's really not anything to write home about. So, but I mean, it's still here. Obviously, it was built well enough. It's still
Oh
here.
yeah,
So,
obviously. Yeah. Yeah. So you've got cows, you do planning. So what all do you guys grow? And then what kind of cows do you have? Like, are they beef cows or what?
yes, Black Angus. We
Black
actually
Angus.
have a couple of Red Angus and one other pasture. Um, my second cousin, he used to have Red Angus and he wanted to get rid of all of them. So we have a couple. So they're actually a little mixed in one other spot, and they're pretty cute sometimes. Um, so we have 3 different pasture of cattle, which you have to have a lot of room for cows anyway. So it's not like we don't have a 500 head operation. We're not that kind of people. No
Mhm.
way. I couldn't by myself. That'd be kind of hard to do. Um, so we have Black Angus. We grow non-GMO and GMO corn and soybeans. This year, I think we've pretty much decided to just go strictly GMO because it is getting later.
Mm.
And we did not plant before the cold snap. The ground temperature was like 47 degrees or something.
Ooh,
And,
that's cold. What's it normally?
well, you really want to plant around 50s. So
Okay.
it was getting close. So I mean, some people have planted. I don't want to pass off any judgment. Corn likes it, in the lower 50s, which is fine. And corn is a little bit more hardy than a soybean. And after the protective covering is off, my dad made a really good analogy. He said, soybeans don't come up wearing little hoodies.
That'd be so cute though, with like little bitty hoodies.
You know how cute that would be? Like
Yeah.
just to see little bitty. Yeah. So I was like, Dad, that's really funny. That'd be really cute to see that. But so once their coating has come off, then they're not protected.
Mhm.
Soybeans they like it warmer. So everybody has their own thing. Not everybody's going to agree with me, and I'm not going to agree with everybody. That's what makes the world go round.
And that's okay. You don't have to agree with everybody. That's totally
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Everybody's farm is different.
Mhm.
And the soil, like even in some of our farms, you have this beautiful, beautiful black dirt. It smells so good. And then you just kind of inch over a little bit as you're working, and then there's a little bit of clay. And then it starts to get a little more clay, and you're like, it's like the sad trombone noise when you start to get towards the clay, because you're like, oh, it doesn't smell and work as nice. So, I mean, that's just one little spot. So everybody is different, and what you do, hey, you do you, I'm gonna do me. So that's how we roll. Yeah.
Hey, well, there you go. What are your soybeans? What are they mostly used for? Is it going to be fertilizer, or not fertilizer, but like animal feed? So what exactly are your soybeans going to be used for?
Well, soybeans, they just go to the elevator. Whoever buys them, they use them for whatever they want to use them for. So after we harvest them and they go off to the elevator, we don't have any say. I mean, I guess we could sell to private buyers. That's too much work. But just take the elevator and it goes from there. I mean, it can be used for so many different things. Soybeans, that's why they are more valuable, because they have a lot more uses. Corn, we have there is one little field that we specifically keep for our cattle, and it's usually non-GMO corn. The cows don't care, so
they're not picky.
and none of them have had cancer, and they're just fine. So anyway, it doesn't matter. It's either non-GMO or GMO. I am not really a huge proponent of one or the other. GMOs are definitely much nicer to take care of, and it's cheaper usually, but yeah, whatever.
That's funny. And speaking of that, I mean, you've got your clothing line, you've got your shirt, and it's the GMO Survivor shirt. So what was the whole idea behind that?
Well, I actually saw that somewhere. So some woman had said that she found the shirt for her husband. And I was like, oh, but she couldn't remember where it was from. So I was like, okay, well, I want that shirt, so I'm going to make it. So, and this was 3 years ago. This is how this all started. And I can't remember what website it was. I mean, it was one of those kind of bigger, you just print your shirt kind of thing, blah, blah, blah. And so then I got it, posted about it, wearing it, and then people wanted it. So I directed them to the link to that shirt. Well, a lot of people started wanting it, and I was giving this company business and money. I was receiving nothing. And I'm like, no, we're not going to be doing this.
Hold up now. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, where's my kickback? I should get something. I'm bringing you a lot of business. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to see if I can just trademark it. I've never done that before. So I did. And it took, it was like 6 to 8 months maybe. And it's expensive. It is not a cheap process. And most people were pretty happy about it, pretty happy for me. And there are some, it was mostly women, which I thought was really odd. I'm like, okay, well, thanks, women supporting women. They got really upset with me, and they're like, one lady said I was being a jerk because, oh, my lawyer's gonna call you or whatever. I'm like, I was being sarcastic, but if you do actually use it knowing that I have it trademarked, yeah, I'll have my lawyer call you, but I wasn't be like, my lawyer's gonna call you. People are so sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and she said that she has been selling that for like 5 years, and then it went to 10 years another time. And I'm like, okay, so how long has it been?
Which one is it?
Okay.
Stop changing your
Yeah.
story.
And I said, you could have bought it. Hey, I don't know who has had this before. I have no idea. And then some other women chimed in. Oh, I've been selling this too. You could have bought it too. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. So anyway, Twitter is fantastic for drama.
I bet
so drama.
you've got an awesome following on Twitter too. You've got like 12,000 people on there. That's awesome.
It's really odd. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, some other people have quite a bit more. What I noticed is after I got married and had a kid, yeah, then it slowed down. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't want those people anyway, if that's the type of male following. Yeah, and another thing about that, I have never had any nasty pictures and that kind of stuff and whatever else. So there are a few women that constantly complain about receiving disgusting direct messages and pictures, and well, you get what you give. I don't know. I don't show my cleavage and wear really tight shirts when I'm working because I actually work. I don't know. Try changing the oil on a 9600 with your hair down and a really tight tank top.
Can be comfortable. It's very interesting to see how people use social media and to build their brands or their businesses. You're just like, okay, all right, I'm just gonna watch here from the stands and see how it's going. Like, all right.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, especially to see that stuff, because I'm like, I didn't know you could sexualize farming. I had no idea you could do that. And apparently you can. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
2021, everything is possible now, and whatever will get you followers on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or whatever.
And that's what the really good thing about this is. I've actually had, I really mostly have good messages. And I have met some really, really good people. And I remember on Instagram, because to me, Instagram is very narcissistic, and it's like, hey, look at me. Because you can't have a conversation. That's why I like Twitter. You get to know people and you actually get to interact, and you can send gifts.
Gifts are the best. I love sending gifts. I'm not on Twitter a lot, but I love sending gifts.
Yes. And there are some really funny ones. And so when you see something on Instagram, sometimes I have this perfect GIF in mind, and then you can't. So I don't like that part of it. You cannot have an actual conversation and get to know somebody. That's what I love doing this, is that I've met some really good people. And I don't have a great following on Instagram, and that's fine. And one guy said, you know, what I really like about you is that you don't care about how many followers you have. And he said, I'm surprised you don't have many more. And I said, well, thank you. I appreciate that, because I really don't care. So I got on social media because I had to when I lived in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I've actually taken a step back these last couple of weeks. Oh, it's fantastic.
It's kind of a breath of fresh air, like living.
Yes. It's like when I lived in LA and I came home and I'm like, oh, this is so nice.
This is so much better. Yeah, I mean, I feel that too, because I'm trying to like build up the following basis. But I mean, sometimes it's just so much pressure. Like, oh, I've got to post constantly. I've got to get on stories. I've got to tweet every day. And then you take a step back. You're like, oh my gosh, like, why am I putting this so much pressure on myself?
You become a slave to social media.
Oh yeah.
And I don't like being a slave. I'm just saying, maybe that's just me, but I kind of like to, you know, be free. And I just did TikTok. I got on TikTok maybe a couple of months ago. I don't know. I really like TikTok. That's pretty funny.
TikTok seems pretty fun. I don't have it yet, but I'll see like all the reels and stuff on Instagram, and I'm like, I kind of want to jump to TikTok. It seems pretty fun, but yeah.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. You can have a lot of fun on there, but it's way more involved, and you have to
Hmm.
spend time on there. And like, because there were a couple of guys from Twitter that have a huge following on there, and they were trying to tell me like, oh, you got to do this, this, and this to get more followers. And I'm like, you know what? I just like that there's music on there, and I don't have to ask for rights. I don't have to pay for the
True.
rights. Yeah, so it's a lot more entertaining to me. But my husband and I, we sing stuff. We are terrible singers, but we make up our own little songs. And I didn't know there was anybody else out there that did that. My mom couldn't believe it. She's like, I can't believe you found somebody else that does what you did. And
awesome.
it's stupid. It's absolutely stupid, but we make up our own songs. And so TikTok is like perfect.
That's true. Yeah. And people are going to find those, be like, this is the best thing ever. Why we need to do this, or we need to watch them often. So that's, you find your niche, I find like, or I think so. That's awesome.
Eventually, I don't know. But I mean, I'm doing this because I see something funny, entertaining, whatever. If it makes me laugh, that's why I post something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever post anything unless it has to do with the clothing. But you have to do that. But to gain followers, I think it's really freaking funny about the Triscuit thing that I tweeted the other day about. If you like Triscuits, it's kind of if you enjoy eating wicker furniture. Somebody made that meme, and I was like, that's really effing funny. So I'm going to post that.
Yeah.
And it was funny. Other people find it funny. That's what I enjoy. So
I mean, that's pretty accurate. I don't like Triscuits, but every time I eat them, I'm like, this is like eating pure wheat or like wicker furniture. I mean, it's weird. It's a weird texture. It's a weird taste.
Furniture.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's a lot to chew. And then you're like, how is this going to come out?
Is it going to
Like,
digest at all or what?
Yeah. Like, I don't want to mess up my intestines. Like, they're soft.
With
Those aren't soft.
Triscuits. I can never say Triscuits. That's hilarious.
Oh, and they always put, like non-GMO on their stuff too. And I'm like,
hate that.
yeah, it's not a GMO because they haven't come out with a big commercial GMO wheat.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're non-GMO. But anyway.
Yeah, my favorite is the pink Himalayan sea salt that's non-GMO. I'm like, you can't like genetically modify a mineral. Like, there's no GMO sea salt out there. Like, why? And I was listening to Spotify the other day.
Somebody can make an argument.
Oh, probably. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we might do it eventually. But I was listening to Spotify, and I'm not cool enough to where I have the paid version, so I was getting an ad. And there's this one that came on.
I'm not either.
Well, there you go. Good company then. It was like there was a music playing in the background. I was like, oh, this is kind of like a happy ad. What is this? And it was like, the non-GMO label is a great label you should look for in your grocery store. I was like, mute. I'm like, this is so dumb. Spotify, the algorithm does not know who is listening because I hate that label.
There's like, I think there's like 10 foods. There's 10 or 11 foods that are GMO.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. And like 9 times out of 10, anything that has the non-GMO label on it has no ingredient that has a GMO variety. And that's why I tell people, and they're like, oh, wait, are you for real? That logo means nothing? I'm like, yes, it means nothing.
Yeah, it is marketing. Pure
100%.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, I don't like that stuff either. But
yeah, the logo, crazy. I want to make a shirt that has that logo. Probably might get a little bit sued from that. But so I've slowly started to make. We've got like a Farm Traveler T-shirt. I've got a hat. I have on backwards right now. But what advice do you have on starting a clothing line? I mean, with like a very niche customer basis, like people involved in farming or agriculture. Like, should you do drops? Should you have stuff that's always available? Like, what have you kind of found that kind of works?
Well, I don't want to give out too much information because when I started doing that, there were a couple people that started to copy and follow suit.
Yeah, trade secrets. I mean, you got to protect what works for you.
Yes. So that's why trademarking is a great thing to do.
Good idea.
Even if it makes people mad. Hey, guess what? I don't care. So if you want to have clothing, it's a lot of work. How I am still sane, I don't know. Well, I mean, some days, other days, yeah, wine is an amazing thing.
Or craft beer. That's my choice.
Alcohol. Yes.
Big
It
fan.
is. It's a good, yeah, it's a good friend of mine. Not too good of a friend. Used to be. Yeah. I can't handle it like I used to. So it is so much work. And if you have something that's online, the problem with that is, okay, you're able to sell something to somebody and they're able to get it and it's packaged for you and everything else. Problem is you only get a percentage and it's a small
Mhm.
percentage. And but you have to weigh it against having your own product, because then you have to take the time to ship it. Then you have
Mhm.
to pay shipping, packaging. You have all of these costs that go into like any job. And a lot of people don't realize this. And a website, you have a monthly or an annual fee for that. You have to pay for a shipping service to get a discount. That's a monthly fee.
Mhm.
There are fees out the arse
Everywhere.
for
Yeah.
anything that you use. So you have to take that into account. So making a profit, it takes a while. So I'm just now starting to unch profit. And that's 3 years. So people are like, oh, yeah, you're selling all these shirts, you're making so much money. No,
Not yet. No. Yeah.
because marketing,
Mhm.
you have to pay for marketing. And I did my own website. I have never been tech savvy, and I have been constantly working on it since I started it. I figured it out. How I figured this out, I don't know. But I'm the one doing everything. So my mom will help every once in a while if it's just gotten really, really busy. And she actually makes some of the stuff.
Oh, nice.
She is an award-winning quilter.
Oh, there you go. That's a good resource to have.
Yeah. Yeah. She doesn't tell people that because she's like, Tinny. I'm like, but Mom, you're good.
Yeah.
So she's really good at making things. She does the scarves and all that stuff. And I mean, she's fantastic. I cut.
Hey, there you go. That's also a
Yeah.
needed skill.
Yeah, I can sew. I just do not really enjoy it that much. Anyway, regardless, doing all that and doing it yourself is a lot of work. So farming and doing this has been absolutely exhausting.
Oh, I
And
bet.
taking pictures. You gotta have photos, you gotta edit, you gotta upload, you gotta do the product description. You have to do all of that. Then you have to launch it and you have to send out an email, make an email, and you have to constantly be thinking of, okay, how am I going to get people to buy this? So what I did this last fall, there is a company here in the US. I'm not going to say their name because somebody's going to try to go use them. I actually had a line made with them.
Oh,
That
nice.
was not cheap.
I bet not.
Not cheap at all. So people are like, hey, well, I got this stuff, you can buy it. No, like you don't realize this is an investment.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a quick story. Some people might enjoy this. I don't know. Okay. So when all this exploded, I used an online supplier and I had the order, had them print, go, go, go. Well, their inventory wasn't always updated with my system. Okay, so there was a problem, and I like having people get a good quality product, get it quickly, blah, 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 yakety schmackety. Okay, so it wasn't working out. So I invested in a direct to garment printer. Massive, massive printer. It was not cheap at all. Well, I was single and childless. Yeah. So then I met my husband on farmersonly.com.
Yes. You're the first person
Yeah.
that I've met that met their spouse on Farmers Only. That is hilarious. That's awesome. Congratulations, though.
Well, thanks. What's funny is that I hated those commercials and I made fun of them. And something kept telling me, just get on there, just try it, whatever. Get on it. I had a good experience. I did not have a bad experience on there. I
Well,
met
that's
one
good.
person. It was okay. Whatever. We're actually friends on Instagram still. And no, I actually met two guys. But the other guy, I actually still talk to. He does tractor pulls. Very nice guy. Very nice guy.
Well, there you go.
I'm meeting like-minded people. My husband, he had a hobby farm in Rolla, Missouri. And he wasn't the farmer. and it was kind of funny, but it was, I was 35, he was 40. So we met, oops, I'm pregnant. It was meant to be because we had already talked about like eventually getting married in a very, very, very short amount of time.
Mhm.
But it just sped up that process. So we met, we pretty much dated for like a month and a half before, I don't know. And I went to the Bahamas twice in 1 year because I already had the vacation plan with my mother. And then I went for my honeymoon.
Well, there you
Pregnant.
go.
So planned a wedding, got it ready and everything done in 3 weeks. And then wedding happened, honeymoon, couple baby showers, had to go plan for that. Then my husband had to move. He is a contractor and had a business in Rolla, Missouri. So on Thanksgiving, a month after I had given birth to our daughter, Hunter Olivia, we were moving his stuff from his house in Rolla, Missouri to Illinois. It's a 3-hour drive. So that was really interesting. So that was a really big year. So I wasn't really able to use my printer. Yeah. So you lose some, you win some.
Yeah. That's kind of you're learning as you go. It sounds like that's crazy. So I taught high school ag classes for 2 years in Daytona, and every time a new commercial for Farmers Only would come out, we would watch it, and we would just be like, "This is the greatest thing ever."
It made farmers look like complete morons.
It did. It's you don't have to be lonely at farmersonly.com. City folks just don't get it. I still remember. I don't know why. I don't remember half the things from like 6 years ago, but I still remember that jingle. I don't know why. It's so catchy, I guess.
Do you remember the stupid horses on the computer? And they're like,
yeah.
I'm like, oh, thanks. Now even our horses are dumb. Awesome. Thanks.
This is not stereotyping at all. Yeah, those are so good. I would always do this disclaimer afterwards, like, guys, farmers are not all like this. Like, don't take this with a grain of salt.
Yes. And like my father and grandfather, who were farmers, they went to college.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, I mean, it was for ag, whatever. They still went to college.
They're smart. They have degrees. Yeah.
Stupid. Yeah. Yeah. So, but it's just so funny. And Farmers Only.
Yeah. I feel like that's a huge stereotype. I mean, people, they hear that thick Southern draw or accent wherever a farmer might be, and they're like, oh, that accent's a lack of education. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, I guarantee you they know more about biology, chemistry than the average Joe. I mean, it's just another one of those stupid stereotypes, I guess.
I graduated with honors in biology.
There you go. Yeah, heck yeah.
Public. So, like, okay, you think we're stupid? Well, okay.
Joke's on you.
Yeah. I know. But it's the best life though. It's amazing because like my daughter is gonna be a country girl like I was. And it's awesome. And I hope she goes out, tries a bunch of different things and realizes, hey, you know what, I like being home. And if she wants to go into the trades, I actually kind of hope she does. Because my husband is excellent with construction. I hate construction. Can I construct something? Yes, but he can do it and make it look really nice.
There you go.
Because I care enough about it. Anyway, it's a dying breed.
Mm-hmm.
Manual labor is a dying breed. And she will probably be able to make a very good living knowing how to do these things that so many kids don't even know how to do or don't want to do.
Yeah, it's a skill that's like losing its. Nobody's appreciating. Like now, it's just like, oh, you need to learn how to code, you need to learn how to start an app, you need to learn how to use social media, and that's it. Like, what about these trades like plumbing, electrician, welders, like hard skill blue collar jobs that nobody knows how to do anymore?
Because what happens if something is wrong in your house? You're gonna call somebody.
Oh yeah.
We need somebody to call. So it's really, really hard to find anybody, kids, which is weird. I still feel like a kid and I'm calling these kids. I'm like, because I do not act at my age. But it just really stinks to see the younger generation not be really, really hardworking.
Yeah.
And there are some. So my husband, I actually found him a young worker who was a friend of a friend and a family, and he's working for him now. He's 23. And my husband said, I wish I had 5 more of him.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's rare.
Yeah.
I saw something on the Joe Rogan podcast. Actually, it was one of those weird things.
I love his podcast.
Oh, his podcast is the best. I
Yeah.
don't know if it was a recent episode of his, but I saw this quote from another guy, and then I saw him quote it on a video. Then I saw somebody else, and it was one of those things where you're like, holy cow. It was hard men make easy times make soft men make easy times make hard men, or something like that. And I was thinking about that, how like we're making soft people now. Like nobody's learning trades, nobody's learning like difficult careers, or nobody's willing to exercise or anything. Like we're making like soft people now. And I was like, huh, that kind of makes sense.
And not just physically, mentally
Oh yeah.
soft. So many people are so incredibly sensitive now. I can't believe it. And I mean, people already were like, oh, if you're sarcastic, you're a mean person. No, you just don't understand it because you're not very smart. That's what I say to those people. But just the amount of like something that is very, very soft, sarcastic can just send people over the edge.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
you could get canceled like immediately because people don't like your sarcasm. They're like, "Oh, this person's rude. They're insensitive. Cancel them right now." And you're like,
Yeah.
Hold up."
Yeah, what's gonna happen? Like something is going to happen to bring everything kind of back into order, because you cannot have people constantly complaining and constantly trying to get their way by use of putting someone else down.
Yeah.
That can't continue. So, I'm not some like amazing theorist by any means, but I'm just saying something is bound to happen.
No, I mean that's a good thought. Yeah, I mean something's gonna have to reset us to where we're like not as sensitive or something. So you never know. I mean, probably sooner than later.
Neanderthals. I shared this meme. Somebody said Neanderthals knew the difference between a man and a woman.
Yeah, accurate.
The most basic thing Neanderthals could understand. And like, oh my gosh, like people nowadays are like, oh, anyway, that's a whole other subject.
Yeah, it's a whole other subject for another day. But there's like, oh, there's 65 genders now. I'm like, are there 65?
Hey,
like,
in biology, there's 2. That's science. Yeah.
Science doesn't care about your opinions. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, exactly. See, I can say like, hey, that's not an opinion. Like I've studied it. I did it. Mice. There were only 2.
Mice. Yeah. Mice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mice. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Another topic I feel like that's a whole other podcast. And I've talked with a few guests about that. Like we just go into like modern day issues, and it's always this thing about sensitivity and being offended. And I'm like, this is just a common thing that everybody has an opinion on. That luckily everybody I've interviewed we've been on the same side. And I'm like, thank you. Like you're saying, thank you.
Yeah, if you get outside of agriculture, you're probably, gonna find a few that don't really agree.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I always hear stories because I went to school for ag ed, and I hear all these stories about people that are like, oh yeah, I was the only like conservative or the only like religious person. I'm like, well, I was in the College of Ag and we were all kind of the same and we all got along. Like, I feel bad for you. I'm sorry. Like I had a good college experience, but
yeah. Well, and there are plenty of opposing views in agriculture.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And even just my friend group. I have met people all over the world and friends with people all over the world. It's okay that we can disagree, but let's disagree as adults.
Oh,
and I'm not going to not like you because your political view isn't mine. That is really, really crappy to me. Yeah. And then, you go, well, like you said, this is for another time. So, but, yeah, I get along with most everybody, but just be sensible.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And before I started this podcast, I was always kind of thinking like, well, why would organic farmers like why would they grow organic? But actually interviewing them, I'm like, they have their own rationale. Like,
Mhm.
I don't, just because I don't agree with it, it's totally fine. Like, they have their rationale, they've done their research. Like, I need to trust them just as much as I hope they would trust me, in my opinion. So it's
Yeah,
okay. We disagree. Let's just make sure everybody does their own research, and that's okay. Look at that. We're all getting along. It's crazy. Who would have thought?
it's freaking utopia. It's ridiculous.
Hmm. That's
Yeah.
wild. So I like to ask everybody this question. What do you think about the farmer consumer relationship? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Do you think social media is helping it or worsening it? What do you think about
That's a good question.
it?
Phew.
It's a thinker. It's a thinker.
Yeah. Let me sit here and think about it as my wheels slowly turned.
I need the Jeopardy music on like a button. Just play it in the background. Probably get
Yeah.
copyrighted for that though.
Well, you could kind of make your own version of it, but it could sound like it.
That'd be cool, like a techno version of it or something. That could work.
Yeah. But if it's you making the noises, so that way it is original. Yeah.
Also true.
About that too. I made friends with the crew members. Like
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't make friends with the other actors because they were in the same spot I was. I'm like, you're not gonna get me anywhere. Let's see. In a way, I think it is helping and getting better because now in some grocery stores, they actually have signs of the farm where the produce came from, which I think is awesome. That is absolutely fantastic, and I think that should be done everywhere. And it's nice that if you see that farm name, you can look them up, and they're more than likely on social media of some sort, and you can ask them a question about it. And that's nice that now you actually have more access to the producer and the consumer. So that's the good thing. And I think it is better. But like everything, you do have the consequence of that. And people who, you hand that kid in your class that you couldn't reason with.
100%. Yep.
Everybody had one. And there are a lot of those now. So it doesn't matter what you say and how you put something, they're going to take the opposite view. And so causing that much conflict, I'm not a fan of at all. And it's just, they just want to cause problems, because they're already miserable in their own life. So, it's kind of a catch-22, but I think for the most part, so that was a really long answer to a really short question.
That was a good answer though.
I think it's getting better. I think it is a better thing now.
Yeah.
But I don't like the consumers thinking that they know everything and then trying to tell us what to do. You live in an apartment of like 700-800 square feet. Don't tell me how to plant 100 acres.
Or you live in a smog-filled city, and don't tell me, a farmer, that I don't care for the environment when you're living in a city that has a lot of pollution and you don't know where your nearest park is. I mean,
but I grow herbs on my patio, so I know how to farm.
It's like, are you sure? How many acres is that? Like not even 0.0001 acre?
Yeah, bro, I know everything. Yeah, I know. So, and I got a greenhouse. So I've upgraded. It's not built yet. I have to go pick up the materials. But I got the material list. And so I started with planting some more things that I haven't ever planted before. I just love seeing things grow. So as stupid as this may sound to somebody, like say in a city, I just love seeing things grow. So whenever I see just that little bitty green something popping out of the dirt, I get ecstatic. My husband will
awesome.
tell you, he's like, what's going on in there? I'm like, it's growing.
It's sprouted.
Yes, it's so exciting to me. And so I started growing pumpkins.
Oh, nice.
I had no idea how much pumpkins brought light into my life. It's amazing. All right, they make me so happy. It's a freaking pumpkin, and I hate pumpkin pie.
How do you hate pumpkin pie? It's the best thing. I don't like pumpkins, but I love pumpkin pie.
How do I hate it? Very easily. So yeah, I just
Just don't like
I
it.
don't like, no, everybody else does. See, I'm not a big potato fan either, and I'm German and Irish.
What? I didn't know that could be a thing, but okay. I mean, I understand it, I guess.
I have to have a bunch of crap on it. I don't know,
Mhm.
but yeah, I'm gonna get some hate over that. I will eat French fries.
Hey, there you go. I mean, count potatoes.
I
Healthier
know.
potatoes, not really, but still, it's still good fries.
My ancestors probably rolling over in their grave. But pumpkins and sweet corn. So I started a sweet corn patch last year, and it was ridiculously well received. So I'm gonna have more this year, and an electric fence.
That's awesome.
The raccoons, and I will absolutely enjoy it because they decimated
Mm.
probably half of it last year.
All raccoons. I love raccoons. They're cute, but not the rabies evil kind. Like the ones that want to get food from you, or the fat raccoons that like roll everywhere. Those are cute. I like those. But yeah, most raccoons are evil.
But they're still assholes.
Yeah, I growing up, we had a lot of
Yeah.
raccoons behind my dad's barn, and I would trap them and shoot them, like most people do. But one,
Like most people.
like most people do. Well, like a decent number of people do,
Most
and
people.
yeah, us people. And I went to shoot him, I missed, and I shot his ear, and he had a perfectly round hole in his ear, and it was the saddest thing ever. With his little hands, he was like trying to get at his ear, like, what happened there? And I was like, oh my God, dude, I'm so sorry. So I just let him go. I was like, I feel so bad. Go ahead.
You let him go?
I did. I felt so bad because I gave him a little ear piercing. And so he just left, but he just trotted away. Never saw him again. So I think I scared him off, luckily.
But you let him go injured.
Well, he wasn't bleeding though. It was just like a clean shot. Like he got his ear pierced. And he was like,
Oh,
what's
so it's
this?
like, champagne bottle and the sword. You just
Oh
like
yeah.
snip a quick
Just
cut.
he's good. Yeah.
Mm.
It looked like he was getting ready for a gauge in his ear. I mean, so it looked
So
okay.
it was just a flesh wound.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
a flesh wound. I've had
Yeah,
worse.
much like that.
I love that movie.
I hate raccoons. I freaking hate them. Yeah.
Oh, raccoons. I mean, I can imagine, like, I've never had a farm where they actually like take stuff and destroy the crops or anything. But speaking of this, what I want to do one day is go to Texas and do one of those get in a helicopter where they shoot the wild boars. Like that looks so fun. I mean, it's $1,500.
You want to pull a Ted Nugent? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my father-in-law and I looked it up and we're like, that's expensive, but it seems really fun. I mean, where else in the world can you fly in a helicopter with an AR and shoot pigs on the ground? I mean, that would be a fun experience.
There was we saw Ted Nugent. He was actually in Springfield for some like outdoor convention thing or whatever they had, and he was telling us a story about doing the same thing. And I think it was like 500 hogs or something he killed. It was like just a ridiculous amount, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's terrible. And then you actually see how many feral hogs there are. Like that's a drop in the bucket.
Oh yeah, that's a small percentage. Yeah,
So,
they're
yes,
crazy.
It could be worse, I guess.
Yeah. I've seen maps of like the U.S. of where they're the worst, and it's like around here in the Southeast and the Midwest, and they had like a little black dot that would indicate where they were. But like some states were like almost completely black because there's so many feral hogs, and you're like, that's insane. It's crazy.
I mean, they're like rabbits.
Oh yeah,
like, they produce very quickly, and there's a lot in a litter. Yeah. Well, we used to have pigs. Yeah.
Oh, piggies.
Got rid of that.
Yeah.
Oh, they are very, very, very smart animals.
I've heard they're smarter than dogs. Like some research has been like, hey, they're smarter than dogs in some cases. I was like, huh, okay, didn't know that.
Well, I know some dumb dogs and I know some dumb pigs. So I think it's probably, I don't know, probably good with the bad. It depends. But like with cows, you have some that have a better disposition than others.
I can imagine.
Pigs, it's just, I don't like the confinement either. That really saddens me, seeing hog confinements, because they have semis that come in at night to get them because those pigs have never seen daylight. That's really effing sad.
Yeah.
That is not how you raise animals. And okay, you think it's better and you get more production, but that is it's a life. Okay. I don't care if it's an animal or a human, like it's a life. You should treat that with respect and not keep it caged. Like not seeing the sunlight. OMG, what if you did that to a human?
Oh yeah, there would be a huge like blowout from that, or yeah. I mean, kind of like what you're talking about, like it's a life, and yes, that's going to be used in meat production, all that stuff. But we've got to take care of it while it's growing, and we're going to make use of it. Like you've got to respect it somehow. That's why, like we try to buy cage-free eggs whenever we can, because like 3 little chickens in a little space producing eggs. I'm like I get it, production wise, that's good, but like not
It's
very
sad.
ethical. Oh yeah.
It's really sad. And I mean, I love eating beef.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. But I'm gonna respect my cows. I mean, I love them. They are all basically pets to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always sad. Of course, I mean, you probably wouldn't hear this from a guy necessarily. I'm not really an emotional person, but whenever I take cows, like it's sad because they're leaving, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're gonna go die. But then whenever you like eat a ribeye, you're like, oh, that was a really good cow.
Yeah.
You do get over it. But I mean, in deer hunting, so I deer hunted for quite a while until I broke my nose with the scope.
Ooh, ouch, ouch.
Yeah,
That happens.
remember
That happens
one.
though.
Yeah, that was really smooth. Um, there was condensation on the barrel of the gun, and I had just gotten in there, and I just saw a buck, and I was like, and so as I was getting ready, and I had my gloves on, and they didn't have the rubber on there; it was just a cloth glove, and it got slick. I didn't realize it. Bam! Came back, and I got the back end of the deer. We found it a few days later because it was snowing.
Yeah.
And so you couldn't go out there and go find it because it was like, this blizzard. Like, oh, maybe it's prepared. Or prepared. It was saved by the snow or whatever. No. Part of it was gone. And part of it we found in a tree. So there was a cougar somewhere.
Cougar.
Yeah.
Okay. Dang.
Yeah. It's kind of funny when you see a head in a tree. Ooh, anyway. So yeah. But anyway, I can't really say it, but it was right here. There's a little bitty scar there. And yeah, it broke my nose. And I had 2 black eyes.
I bet that felt great. Ouch.
Yeah, it was in December, and I had to go to mass. Christmas Eve mass. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Thinking it's for makeup because it was worse like after that. But anyway, yeah. So I'm pretty lucky. My nose is still fairly straight. So
well, there you go. Yeah, I've never been. I think I've been deer hunting twice. Never broke my nose or anything. Luckily, knock on wood. I'm the klutziest person, but I've never broken a bone somehow. I've gotten a lot of stitches and scars, but nope, no broken bones or anything. So that's good. My grandpa broke his nose like 7 times while riding a bicycle. Good times.
A bicycle.
Bicycle.
Not a motorcycle.
Yeah. He would hit the front brake, and every time he would do a front flip for some reason, and then he would just like break it. I'm like, all right, don't ride a bicycle, Grandpa. He's like, oh, yeah, okay.
Like, well, after the second time, I'm like, maybe just right back.
I'll get a motorcycle. I won't, maybe, and then break his head. Luckily, it didn't happen. He did though buy a motorcycle, and my grandma got on it, and she didn't know that the throttle is on the handle, and she pulled it back, and it did a wheelie, and then she like fell off of it. So they sold it shortly after that. They're like, all right, no more motorcycles. We'll just get a 4-wheel car so we don't fall off of it. Exciting lives.
I love a motorcycle. My dad always had one. My husband has one too. So I mean, we go riding, but yeah, you really, 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 really have to be careful.
Oh, for real.
The deer story, I forgot to tell you where I was going with that. I just went off on a tangent.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine.
I apologize. I'm just here talking, so I'm sorry. I'm probably taking up a lot of time.
That's the perfect podcast guest. Somebody that talks. That's perfect. No worries.
Okay. You're sure?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because like, this has been going because I'm like, oh my gosh, I keep talking and I don't want to interrupt you because then I seem like a complete asshole. Deer. So every time I killed a deer, I would say the prayer.
Oh yeah.
And I do it. So I'm Catholic, and so it's the Eternal Lord's Prayer, and I say it for the cows too whenever they go home. And everything else, like, because people don't realize, like, people have livestock, and you care. You really care, because like they're your livelihood too, and you want to see them happy. And so cows, for instance, the happier they are, the better they taste.
Mm-hmm. Happy
because
cows
if
are
you have
going to be
constant
great
stress,
cows.
yes, because that constant stress makes the meat tough.
Mm.
So that's why, people don't understand that whenever you go in there and you're trying to herd cattle and whatever, you don't start yelling. You don't start, and do that. There was a girl on TikTok. Well, first of all, she was wearing running shorts. And I'm like, you obviously don't raise cattle. These are your dads or your husbands. I don't know. Anyway, she was kind of joking with them and then like, to scare them. I'm like, you're a butthole. Like, you don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, great. So you made a TikTok video where you're scaring cows. You're a really crappy person.
Making everybody look good. Thanks for that. Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody wants to go viral too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'll do anything to get 1 million views or 1,000 views. Yeah, anything to go viral. Yeah, that's crazy.
I
That's
don't even
annoying.
know if I've ever gotten 1,000 views. Maybe I have. I don't know. See, whatever. Hey, I just post what I do.
Just here for a good time.
Yeah. So, was there anything else? Clothing. Let me see. Oh, I have some new sayings.
Heck
So
yeah.
we came with some new sayings, and I'll be posting about those. Oh, kind of soon, I guess.
Kind of soon. Yeah. Your Twitter handle, I'm gonna pull it up. It's just Witty Farmer?
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
same everywhere.
The Witty Farmer. That's pretty good.
Mhm.
The key, I'm blanking. What is it? You've got the
Happens all.
consistency, the key consistency with the usernames. That's always helpful on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and everywhere else.
Yes, I made sure to, before I had a name, that it was going to be available everywhere at the same time.
There you go.
Same with email, website, blah blah blah. Yeah, you know how that goes. So
Yeah,
I mean,
that way anybody can find you. I mean, it's hard because once you get something, then people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna copy it," so they have to buy it from me or something. And you're like,
mhm.
"Nope, not today. Nip it in the bud early."
Yeah. So like, I looked and I was like, oh, this was on some hay bales. So I'm like, hey, it's a really good saying, and this is actually one of the most popular sayings that's sold. This one in GMO Survivor and the new "Hey you" with the hay bale.
Hey, you! I haven't seen that one. That's awesome. Yeah. I like the sweatshirt. Without farmers, you'd be sober, naked, and hungry. I like it.
Mhm. But it's
It is
true.
accurate.
It's very, very true. So I mean, the clothing stuff, it's a lot of fun. I've had a good time with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoy, my view on that is, people like me who do manual labor, we deserve to wear something that is of good quality and comfortable. We've always had these crusty, the Hanes or Gildan, like the hard crusty shirts, those
Oh
really
yeah.
heavy cotton. Those aren't comfortable. And so that's what most of us always had. And Carhartt, their t-shirts are a little bit more soft, but they're not made here. They are made overseas. And some of my stuff is, I've found some stuff that's made here and their production costs are going up.
I believe it.
Yeah, which means I would have to raise my prices, and I'm not going to do that. I'm just not even going to do that. So it's very unfortunate. And the clothing genre is very up and down. You never know what's going to happen there. So no, it's fine because I have a whole new work wardrobe. It's really nice.
I bet. And super comfortable.
Yes.
And on brand.
It's 100% ring spun. That's what.
Heck yeah.
Everything I have is soft, and everything that I sell, I wear. So before I sell something, I buy it and wear it. And it's for men and women. It's not just like these cute little women. See, this is going to get me in trouble. But a lot of the females in agriculture who sell shirts to women, have this font stuff and cute little sayings and whatever else. That is not me. So it's just nice that my customer base is actually 50-50.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's rare too.
Yes. So that's what's really awesome, is that I found something that works for both.
Mm-hmm.
and it fits.
That's the key thing. It fits. It's for everybody. That's not bad. That's rare because yeah, sometimes you'll have like people that are mostly for women or mostly for men. So I feel like that is rare. So good on you for having 50-50. Very
Well,
representative.
thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, it's worked out fairly well. Yeah, and I will start having giveaways here with the new stuff. So
Heck yeah,
I'll start
those are always helpful.
yeah, that's incredible. How many people are like, "Oh, free? Oh,
Free
I'm
stuff.
in. I'll do it. Yes. Yeah. So
Free stuff. Yeah, that's not bad. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, Jenny,
I
this
like
has been
free pens.
do what?
I like free pens.
Hey, free pens? I can't remember the last time I got a free pen. I want a free pen now. Yeah, free pens are
The
always
bank.
great.
Go
I
to the
remember.
bank.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Hey, can I get a free pen? I'm not going to open up a checking account. I just want a free pen. Yeah, sure. Here you go. All right, deal. That's
You
awesome.
know what? Go in and deposit money. Save a check and deposit. Like, I need a pen. I'm like, hey, this is a really nice pen. Can I have this?
9 times out of 10, they're like, yeah, sure, take it. We got a whole box full. Like, all right.
Yep. See, there you go. You're
I
welcome.
might need some Farm Traveler pens or something. That'd be cool. Here, have a pen. There you go.
Should.
Take them to a
That
bank.
would be really good. You should do and koozies.
Oh, that's a good idea. Koozies
You
and
should do a
pens.
koozie. Yeah. I'm not a koozie. Nobody wants Woody Farmer koozie, but no, Farm Traveler, that would be a good koozie.
That would be a good koozie.
I would use that koozie.
I'm making a note. Look at that idea. I'm making a koozie. Koozie, Farm Traveler. Hey, look at that. Yeah, I'm trying to do because we don't. I mean, we have shirts. We've got a hat. I'm just one hat right now, but we don't sell enough to make like a storefront on the website. So I just made like a very easy storefront on the website and like a easy email. So hey, if you want one, email me, PayPal, Venmo, and it's a pretty decent so far. I mean, we did 2 orders of shirts. I think we've sold like maybe 30 shirts so far, which isn't bad.
That's pretty good though.
Yeah,
no, that's good.
Thank you. Yeah, and they're like the super comfortable cotton shirts. We buy them locally, so it's been pretty fun so far.
Well, I mean, that's awesome. Anytime I get an order, even now, like just an order, I'm always excited. You should always be excited when somebody orders from you and never get used to it. Because if you get used to it, then you're getting too confident.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, somebody is paying money for something that you made, like a shirt or something. And they're going to rep it. It's free marketing, which is awesome. And then you've also got, I've got fans or supporters that want to support this cause and that want to rep the thing that I made. Like, that's awesome. Like, that's a great relationship to build off of it.
It's an amazing feeling. And then when somebody posts about it, you're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. That's awesome. Thank you. So yeah, and I mean, you need to treat your customers really, really well. And I think that's another thing with having clothing that a lot of people don't understand. Like, you have to do customer service. And I mean, I make fun of, I couldn't be good in customer service, not live. But I mean, I want to make sure that my customer has the best possible experience. Their package is very well packaged. They are receiving a good quality product and want to keep coming back.
Yeah.
And you always have to think about that. In addition to your other job.
It's it's another job all of itself. Yeah.
It's full time, basically. So I've gotten to the point where I get the shirts and I have a local printer print them.
There you go.
I'm really busy. I still use the online supplier that I had before. So yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I've been trying to do like thank you cards, business cards, and like stickers whenever anybody buys a t-shirt. So I'll just throw it all in there, and it's been pretty fun. It's been awesome so far. A friend of mine, it's all about who you know instead of what you know. And I have a friend that works for the post office, and he told me about a website that does cheaper options for shipping. And I was like, dude, thank you so much. I think it's called Pirate Ship. And so it's like $1.50 cheaper, and you can print the labels here, instead of going to the post office and waiting an hour to get in line. And so it's been very helpful, super helpful. Yeah. So it's not what you know, it's who you know.
I use an online shipping company now. It took a while, but I finally found one. So it makes a huge difference. You just put it in your mailbox and boom, there you go. It's fine.
Yeah, and then you're good. You're like, thank you. So much easier than originally thought.
Yeah, somebody's like, oh, why aren't you on Amazon? I was like, well, I looked at it. I mean, I don't know. I haven't decided on it yet, but it's a lot of work.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of work and less margin for you too. I mean,
yeah, there's a lot of fees, but that's a lot of packaging. Now Amazon could fulfill them for me, but that's another fee.
Yeah.
And that's not my livelihood. Like
Mhm.
the shirts are not my livelihood. I love
Yeah.
farming. I want to stick with this, learn more, because my dad is the freaking farming genius. He's been doing it all of his life, and that stuff is more practical. So actually having those skills and understanding how to fix things, that's invaluable.
Oh yeah, those are skills you need. Absolutely, 100%.
Having a t-shirt, you can go buy a t-shirt anywhere. So
Yeah.
eh,
It's fun to do on the
but
side, not a main thing, but yeah, that's smart.
yeah, the sayings we come up with, it's all of the sayings except for this one, the GMO survivor, have all been me or my husband.
Yeah, I'm looking at them right now. It's like, oh shuck. Was it miso? Oh, miso corny. I like that. And then moo. Those are all pretty good. I like that. Those are
Moo is so popular. I had no
really?
idea. I'm like, it's just moo.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
funny.
that is one of the really big sellers. I'm like, okay. I mean, I think it's funny.
Yeah.
Because that's what cows do. Miso corny. That was my husband.
That's pretty good. I like it. Miso corny.
And then just the corny for the people that don't want miso corny. So yeah.
There you go.
Mhm.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
storefront. That's awesome. It's all about getting that creative slogan, like a moo or something. I like that.
Yeah.
Moo.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know. But, yeah, so it's been quite the ride. Many different things, but I will tell you that this is the best thing that I have chosen to do and stick with. I don't regret moving away and doing all these different things. That's what led me to knowing for sure this is what I meant to do.
Mhm.
So
Well,
and my
heck
dad
yeah.
was
Well,
wonderful.
through all the trials
dad
and all the paths you took, that's awesome. Well, congratulations.
Mhm. Well, thank you very much. And I'm glad we finally got to talk.
I know. I'm so glad. I think this was the longest back and forth, but I'm glad we stuck with it. I'm glad both of our schedules worked out. It worked out, which thank you, because I know like it would be day of and I'd be like, hey, could we reschedule? And you're like, yeah, sure, absolutely. So it worked out well. So thank you very much. This is perfect.
Yes. Well, I'm glad my in-laws are here. So
Yeah, thank them. That's awesome too. So yeah, if people want to follow you, you're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, I guess. You're just the Witty
Mhm.
Farmer, which is super great. Yeah.
And TikTok. TikTok is the
And
Witty
TikTok and
Farmer.
TikTok.
And that's the one that's a little more entertaining. I don't really talk on there. I just find a lot of music that'll go with whatever video. So it's slightly more entertaining, but I would say Twitter really is the best one because I talk on there. I talk to people. So
There you
actually I have, well, typing. I have typing conversations. So it's a lot more fun on there.
Well, there you go. Yeah, Twitter. I never use Twitter, but I'll have to use it more because I think you brought up a great point that you can build more relationships on there and you can have more back and forth. So that's a very good point. I'm going to try to be more purposeful with Twitter and not
Good
just,
example. There's this girl, Carolyn. She's from Iowa. We have become best friends and it's from Twitter.
really.
We
That's
call
awesome.
each other. Yeah. We haven't met. Yeah. We call
Still
each other.
friends. There you go.
all the time. Yeah. So, I mean, that was Twitter because you can actually talk to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Twitter
Good
for
story.
the win. Cool story. I do that all the time with my wife, and she's like, "Cool story." I'm like, "Then I found $20." She's like, "Good. Glad you found
Hey.
$20." I'm like, "Okay.
$20 is $20.
Hey, it is. $20 is good." All right. Well, Jenny, thank you so much. We'll have to touch base soon because I feel like we could just keep talking about everything. Oh, it's a cat. Hello, cat.
It's Garfield.
Oh, Garfield. What a good name for an orange cat. Hey, Garfield.
Nice fuzzy kitty.
Oh, that's awesome. I would get our dog Sadie, but she's not in the room. She's cute. She's lazy. She's been sleeping all day.
Well, I have 2 German Shepherds at my house.
Oh, nice. Those are a handful, I bet.
That's why I'm at my parents.
There you go. Yeah, it'll make the editing a whole lot easier. No German Shepherd noises in
Yes.
the background.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, perfect. Well, Jenny, thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. It was fun. This was a nice little break from life.
Well, there you go. Well, that's awesome.